Hello and welcome to Module 1. We're now in the final topic, Topic 6, which is looking at why you should invest in shares. So let's get started. So if we have a look at the top 5 performing shares on the JSE, let's have a look at the slide. We've got, a variety here from Coronations, EOH, which is in the technologies industry. If we look at their prices, opening prices from October to September last year, 2013, and we look at the total return that these shares have earned in that period of time, it is phenomenal. Just have a look at that. For instance, Coronation, over 1,600%. And even if you look at the fifth one, 785%. I mean, where else do you get such returns? And if you think of your investment options, we've looked at preference shares, we've looked at bonds. Another option that you have in terms of investment is just to leave your money in money markets, in the bank, to earn interest. But if you have a look at what interest rates have been doing over the same period of time, there is no way that they can match up to the returns that people who had invested in these top 5 shares had attained. So if we look at different asset classes and compare the average returns, let's look at a period of 1960 to 2012. We're going to look at bonds, cash which is basically money markets, money in the bank earning interest, and also shares. What has been the performance over that time period? Well, bonds have been at 9.7%. Cash also more or less the same, 9.7% if you round it off. Equities, shares, 19.1%. Okay, so now let's think about the impact of inflation on returns. So inflation, we hear about it in the news all the time. It's basically, rising prices and the effect of those rising prices on your spending power. So if you think about an everyday example, think of 100 rands. If you think back 10 years ago, what could you buy with 100 rands? Probably a whole lot. And what can you buy with 100 rands now? Not much. So what happened? Did anything happen to the money? All that happened was the spending power changed because of inflation. So if we look at inflation over that same period at an average of 8.5%, and we adjust those returns for inflation. So that basically means that we take the return and we minus inflation to see what your real return is. How does the return look for bonds? 1.2%. For cash, 1.2%. For equities or shares, you're looking at 10.6%. So shareholders who were invested in the share market basically got returns which were above inflation, well above inflation. So as you can see, in terms of the different investment options, it makes sense to consider the share market. And that brings our module to a wrap. I hope you've enjoyed this module, and we've got more exciting modules coming up. So do stay tuned and keep adding knowledge to your knowledge. Thank you and goodbye.